What do you think should happen if somebody does something like this to somebody else?
I don't know. They obviously get prison time. I don't know.
I have not touched him.
How would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know.
I'm hoping that she's still alive. And that's really, I really do, I'm holding out for that. And if she's not alive, then I think she and her family are due that knowledge. I think I think they need some closure.
Please, God, please, God, just let me talk to you.
Whether it's a suspect's reaction to a new piece of information or a full-blown confession, what happens in an interrogation room can make or break a case. Some of those admissions are pretty eerie. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. So we've talked body cams, we've talked 911 phone calls, we've talked defendants on the stand. Now let's do something a little bit different. Let's focus on one of the most crucial pieces of evidence in any case: interrogations. Because if you think about it, cameras are rolling right now in interrogation rooms across the country, capturing everything said and done while a suspect is inside. So we've gathered some of the most chilling interrogation moments from recent cases. So we start off with one of the most bizarre cases that we've ever covered: Wisconsin versus Taylor Schabusiness. The 25-year-old was convicted of killing her lover while the two had sex after she claimed she did meth. Apparently, in her drug-fueled stupor, Schabusiness not only strangled 24-year-old Shad Therion with a metal chain, but sexually abused his dead body and then chopped him up into pieces. His mother came home to find her own son's bloody head in a bucket in the family's basement. Truly horrific. Doesn't get worse than that. Schabusiness was arrested on February 23rd, 2022, and police put her in a yellow jumpsuit in an interrogation room. And then they started asking her questions to get to the bottom of just what happened to Shad. And Schabusiness gave one shocking answer after another. Take a listen.
You ever put the chain around you? Was the chain ever around your neck?
I put it on
Do you have any marks or anything?
You didn't get the chance to strangle him.
Yeah, just you didn't get a chance to strangle you? Was that you was going to though? Or was that part of the?
Yeah, I thought that was the thing, and then I don't know, I just went a little crazy.
Just went a little crazy? Take note of that. We're going to get back to that. So she said how she and Shad engaged in kinky sex, but here she says she basically went maybe a little too far, but seemed to recognize that. What you're hearing is effectively an admission. Schabusiness described what happened in between her apparent blackouts from the meth.
I'm just like, I think I went a little too far, because I was blacking out while I was doing it, right? And then and then I look at him, I'm like, he's already purple. I'm like, I don't know if is he good? Is he good? But then when I woke up, during the blackout moment, he was coughing up blood. I'm like, I don't know, I just kept on going, bad.
But when did you start, cutting up his body?
I don't know, almost right away. I was sucking and cutting at the same time.
Okay. But what about the rest of his body parts? Did that take all day? Did you?
I was getting pissed off at the dismemberment process, actually.
Did it take a while? It took a while?
Yeah, because I was nodding out. So
Okay, so you're kind of slipping, kind of nodding in and out. Have you taken any other drugs?
I should have took drugs. I probably would have helped, but I didn't.
So you dismembered the body too?
Yeah.
And what did you do with the body parts?
Oh, they're in the house.
Somewhere?
They're
Basement, upstairs, downstairs?
Absolutely in the basement. I was gonna bring them with them. And then, I know I forgot the head. I wanted the head.
Did you bring anything with you?
Yeah, it's in the van.
What?
It's in the van. It's, what is it? I don't know, a foot maybe.
The what?
I think it's a foot.
A foot in the van?
A leg maybe. I don't know. I'm like, I'm gonna bring it all. And then I'm like, man, this is messy. So then I just left it. I got lazy.
Okay.
I got lazy and that's what I did. So I'm like,
Okay. So there's going to be maybe a foot or a leg in the van. And then,
yeah.
what did you do with the head?
I forgot that was in the van, so, yeah.
with the head?
The head, I put it in that bucket, that black bucket.
Black bucket?
With the blanket on top.
Okay.
Actually, I can't believe it.
And then where'd you leave it?
Leave the head? The head's still in the bucket. It's right by the stairs.
By the stairs?
Again, just admitted to killing him, abusing his dead body, and dismembering him. Something else. I don't think I've ever heard anything like this. Now, the interview, which lasted hours, continues on with Schabusiness, then in a different jumpsuit.
You know, what do you think should happen if somebody does something like this to somebody else?
I don't know. They obviously get prison time. I don't know.
Schabusiness even goes as far as asking if the police have found all of Shad's body parts.
Did you guys find all the parts here?
Still going through the process of looking. So, did you remove any other? You said you had the heart and the liver up with the lungs. Did you remove all that from the chest cavity? Or did you leave them in there? Or?
It could be in there, yeah.
Do you remember? Or?
They're all in plastic bags.
Separate bags or one big bag?
They're all in separate bags, like Walmart bags. And
Oh.
then
Alright.
they'll find them.
Well, I'm sure they'll go.
First of all, my opinion, hats off to the investigators here. Remaining so calm, cool, collected as they try to get all of this information out of Schabusiness, and listen to what they're hearing, which is important because given these admissions, what could possibly be the defense? Well, remember I said that crazy comment? So Schabusiness pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Under Wisconsin law, insanity means that you are not legally responsible if due to a mental condition you couldn't appreciate the wrongfulness of what you did or conform your behavior to the law. Now, despite how seemingly crazy this crime was, a Wisconsin jury didn't buy it. It only took about an hour for them to find her guilty of intentional homicide, abuse of a corpse, and third-degree sexual assault. They also determined that she was not insane when she committed the crime. In September, a judge sentenced Schabusiness to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Okay, moving on to another high-profile case, this one out of Miami, Florida. It concerns 26-year-old OnlyFans model Courtney Clenny, also known as Courtney Taylor. She had more than 2 million followers on the site. So she was questioned by police after suspected of stabbing her 27-year-old boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, during a domestic dispute in their apartment. The incident happened back in April of 2022. Clenny called 911 to report that Obumseli was bleeding from a knife wound, and sadly, he would end up dying from his injuries. So police take her to the station for questioning. They leave her by herself in an interview room. And as she sobs, Clenny talks to herself, apparently unaware that Obumseli is already dead.
Please, God, just let me. My dog, please. God. Christian, be okay. I don't care what he was doing.
Now, she would be charged with his murder just a few months later, but how did we get to that point? Well, Clenny and Obumseli had both dealt with the police before because of domestic disputes that included screaming matches and physical altercations. The two had recently moved into a new Miami condo, but there were already so many problems with the couple that an eviction process was underway. And according to Clenny, she and Obumseli had gotten into an argument inside the condo that escalated. Clenny said that she threw a knife at Obumseli, which hit him. First responders found Clenny holding Obumseli's body as he bled out. When Clenny first spoke with officers in the interrogation room, she's not immediately told that her boyfriend is dead. Instead, officers say that he's being evaluated at the hospital.
What is your date of birth?
4/21/96.
When was your birthday? 19.
It's really, when is your birthday?
Day 13.
My boyfriend's just the 12th.
Oh, really?
He turns 28.
Super
12th.
close. This is in a row.
Assuming that he...
Well, he's still in the hospital right now, so... Okay. Just take a breather, okay? How long have you guys been together?
About 2 years.
About 2
A
years?
year and a half to 2 years, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is he okay?
He's still at the hospital. They're still,
I know.
monitoring him and talking to him. So we're waiting.
Oh my God! So he didn't even have to have surgery.
Well, I don't know. They're
Okay.
still doing X-rays and stuff like that. So I don't know yet. I'm waiting to hear a response.
That's all I have to know. Thank
Okay.
God.
So
That's all I need.
we'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
And once we're done, I'll go talk to them again and see what's the update. Okay.
Had just gotten back together. I had broken up with him, and then he came back the last 2 nights, and everything was perfect. And then just got into an argument, and I ended up getting scared, and I think that I overreacted, or not overreacted necessarily, but reacted, and I just didn't know exactly what might happen.
Several hours into the interview, Clenny is back in a new set of clothes, and officers finally break the news.
We have to inform you that Christian did not make it. Okay. Unfortunately, the doctors did what they could.
Christian is dead.
Yes.
Oh my God. This is not real, right? Okay. There's no way. Christian died? Can I please have a hug? Am I allowed to do that in here?
Sure.
Relax. You'll be fine.
No.
Calm down. Calm down. Take deep breaths. Just take deep breaths. You're gonna be okay.
I need to hug my mom.
I'll talk to your parents and get them over here.
I cannot be left alone in a room by myself
You won't be.
after this. No, that's not true. That's not real, right?
It is real.
Christian is dead.
Yes. They're not gonna lie.
I know, I just can't believe it.
I'll talk to your parents. I'll get them. I'm gonna get your parents here ASAP.
We spoke to your parents, and they're trying to do everything possible to get you as soon as possible as well.
No. No.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. Courtney, it's gonna be okay.
No, it's not. Oh my God. I wanted to be at the hospital. If anything happened to him, I just wanted to be at the hospital. I begged, can I please go to the hospital? I mean, obviously, they put me in custody of my house, but I begged, can I please go to the hospital? Oh my God, our friends. Oh my God. Mom. Me?
It's been a long day.
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and it's gonna be the same thing. And, okay, that's the last time I ever talked to him. It's the last time anybody ever talks to him. Ever.
Quinn, we can't undo what's already happened, so this is going to be a process.
What I was saying to that other room, I said, God forbid, when, from far away. What if it had accidentally hit a little bit lower and he died? That's what I said.
Now, these moments from the police interview not only give investigators information about Clenny's relationship with Obumseli, but they also give kind of her state of mind and demeanor before and after finding out he was dead. Well, it turns out by looking at the crime scene, the timeline, the weapon, the autopsy, something was off. While she claimed she threw the knife at him from 10 feet away after Obumseli grabbed her and shoved her, the evidence suggested that maybe wasn't true. In fact, Obumseli's wound was consistent with a downward strike to the chest rather than a throwing event. Also, video footage surfaced of Clenny and Obumseli in the building's elevator 2 months before his death that appeared to show her shoving and hitting him while he doesn't really fight back. In fact, she had previously been charged with domestic battery against Obumseli back in 2021. So when all this came out in August of 2022, Clenny was charged with second-degree murder. The defense team argued for bond, but the judge determined the money that Clenny made from OnlyFans could make her a flight risk, so she's been locked up ever since. The case is expected to go to trial sometime in 2024. Another woman in trouble for allegedly killing her lover tried to explain away why his body was found stuffed inside of a suitcase. So Sarah Boone is accused of zipping her boyfriend George Torres Jr. into that suitcase and leaving him to die. She's facing a charge of second-degree murder and has pleaded not guilty. In February of 2020, Boone called 911 to report Torres was dead inside of their apartment in Winter Park, Florida. She said that they were playing a game of hide and seek and thought it would be funny for George to get into the suitcase. She claims the two had been drinking wine, and she went upstairs and fell asleep with Torres still inside the suitcase. But police found video on Boone's cell phone where Torres can be heard saying he can't breathe and asking for her to let him out. I warn you, this is very, very tough to watch.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
F you.
Sarah.
F you.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Sarah. I can't breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah. 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 Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
Real or ransom. I want to get video for it extra. Because I got this.
Sarah.
Real or ransom.
Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you ching on me.
Sarah. Breathe, Sarah.
Yeah. You should probably shut the fuck up.
Sarah.
During an interrogation, Boone said that George often was violent with her, but swears that she didn't do anything to hurt him.
We had a good time sitting on the back porch, having wine, and smoking a couple of cigarettes, and then decided to go inside and literally paint, do puzzles, and play, and listen to music. That's why nobody got out of sorts. This is what's mind-blowing to me. Like, I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand on anybody.
He also had, like on the left side of his forehead, he had basically bruising, and on like his head and his skull.
I have no idea.
As if something hit him.
I
considered
have not
force
touched him.
trauma.
I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
Then how would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know. I have not touched him.
Yesterday, when we took photographs of your overall body, and they did the buccal swabs. Did they go under your fingernails?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to let us
Absolutely.
swab underneath your fingernails?
Go for it.
Okay.
I have no idea, and I don't want to seem out of sorts, but I have no idea. We had a good day. It was a good day. We've had good days lately, even considering everything that's going on with our jobs and life in general and ex-wives and everything. It's been good. Like, I don't even know where this is coming from.
Have you guys ever played you said you played hide and seek like probably 3 times in your relationship. When you have played, have you ever zipped him up in a suitcase prior?
No.
Okay. So it was just kind of like that prop was there, and it was there,
Yes.
and it was in play because...
Why do you say it like that, though?
I would never do that.
You had a look on your face when she asked you if you've ever done that before. You looked kind of shocked and...
No.
Okay, but why did you say it like that? Like...
I don't think you all understand who I am, where...
Okay. Well, tell me.
I mean, I've always been a straight-A student. I am an outstanding mother to my son.
Okay.
I excel at everything. I would not do that.
You wouldn't lock somebody in a suitcase?
Well, I didn't, like, completely lock it. I mean, I opened it with one finger. I left enough in there for him to get out.
Boone goes back and forth with the investigators, first claiming she doesn't remember recording George in the suitcase, then changing it up and saying he was fine in there and that she didn't think anything was wrong.
My intention was not to leave him in there. Please understand that. My intention was not to leave him in there.
But you went upstairs thinking that he could get himself
Yes.
out, but the video shows
That's
at
what I
no
told
point
you.
can I see his fingers.
He'll be up here any minute.
And then 30 minutes later, he didn't show.
And he's telling you
And I
he
didn't
can't
wake
breathe.
up.
Do you
He's
think
not
he's
able to get out.
joking? You told me he was laughing, and
We were
the
before.
video, there's no
When we
laughing.
first got in there, both of us were.
So how long was he in there for? Like, this video is at 11:12 when it starts, so was he in there for like a long time prior to you
No.
recording this?
No. No.
So it goes from funny to no longer funny,
But
and
I
you're
didn't,
the only one laughing.
But I didn't think that he was, like, panicky. Like,
So pushing up on a suitcase saying, Sarah, 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 I can't breathe.
George has done that in the past before, too, where it's just like he thinks that he's woe is me kind of thing, where it's like, I don't
He's
think.
never been locked in a suitcase. That's
No.
where he couldn't get out. So
It's kind of, I thought it was
And
the
you know
boy
the oxygen
crying
is
wolf,
coming.
crying wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
And again, my plan.
But nowhere in there is he laughing, is he joking. He is begging. And you're the only one laughing.
Okay.
And you're the only one saying derogatory comments. Like you're mad.
No. Please don't, I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but, like, it's like you guys are kind of trying to, like, feed me. Like,
No, I'm just trying to show you a video that you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
well, I know what,
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
oh,
Why don't you remember making the video?
probably because we had been drinking.
But you weren't drunk.
Some tough questions for her to answer, hard to explain that video away, and investigators call Boone out for her conflicting statements.
So you all think that it's like, oh, good, I got him in there, now I'm going to go to sleep? Is that what you guys are trying to assume? Or trying to, like...
The video is very portraying of the opposite of what you told us.
No.
It is not leading up, it is not matching what statement you gave us in the car.
So,
And that's why we want to know.
and
the
I don't remember
injuries-
doing those.
The injuries are not consistent with what you told us. So we have a lot of inconsistencies, and this video explains itself. It really, truly does.
I promise you, on my son's life, it was not intentional. I promise you, on Lucas's life, it was not intentional.
I don't know you. I can't say I know anything about you. I don't know what would be a true statement, what would not. I mean, if you're promising on your son's life, that's fine.
That's how much it means.
Sorry.
That's how much it, look, that's how much it means. I hope you take that to heart.
In September, Boone's public defender withdrew from the case after Boone apparently wrote multiple letters to the judge insulting the attorney, calling him a dud and a buffoon. Boone now has a new attorney, her fourth one, in fact, and will appear for a pretrial hearing in January 2024, where we may get an official trial date. As we continue on with some of the most chilling interrogation room moments from recent cases, for this next interrogation, we're going to go back in time to a case that many of you might remember. In August of 2018, brutal murders took place in Frederick, Colorado, of a pregnant mother named Shanann Watts and her two daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste. Police end up sitting down with the husband, father, Chris Watts. Shanann had just returned from a business trip late that night, and her friend got worried when Shanann didn't respond to any messages or phone calls. Now, Chris said that he had seen his wife at the house around 5 in the morning, but had been at work at an oil company all day, and he was adamant that he didn't know where his wife or children were. He even spoke with local news stations, begging for them to come home.
I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But, I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know, but if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now.
But just 2 days later, police arrested Chris Watts after he failed a polygraph test.
It is completely clear that you were not honest during the testing, and I think you already know that. He did not pass the polygraph test.
Okay.
Okay. So now we need to talk about what actually happened. And I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
Chris,
I know.
Chris, stop. It's time. Just stop for a minute. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath right now.
There's a reason you feel sick to your stomach. And when people hold stuff inside, it makes you physically ill. And I can just tell on your face, I could tell from the second you walked in that you were wanting to just come clean and just be done with this. And I appreciate that because you knew sitting down in that chair that you weren't going to pass today, and you knew I was going to find out because I told you that, and then you continued to stay knowing that you could, at the end, say, you know what, I just need to get this off my chest. Like, I just need to tell you what happened. We're not here to play games. We're not here to do any of that with you. We just want to know what happened.
Watts continued to deny that he was deceptive, but the investigators kept pushing.
This is where the rubber meets the road, Chris. Like, don't let this continue any longer, please.
And after more prodding, Watts asked to speak with his father and confesses. Now, according to Watts' first version, he had been having an affair. He talked with Shanann about a possible separation and says that she became enraged. He told his father that he went downstairs, and when he came back up, Shanann had suffocated the two little girls. Watts says that he then strangled Shanann and then took all 3 bodies to a remote oil storage site being used by his employer. Shanann was buried in a shallow grave. Bella and Celeste's bodies were found in crude oil tanks nearby. The audio of Watts' confession to his father, I warn you, is really hard to hear because Watts seems to be whispering and trailing off at times.
She started her begins.
Talking to her about that. Talking to her about separation and everything, about like, she lost her. I don't know, like, what else to say, like, I freaked out. Those are my kids. I heard like a little commotion upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it.
Mm-hmm. like, check my doctor's machine. Want to choke him after that? Did she kill him? They were blue. Both of them. Yeah. She choked both of them to death. I freaked out because she had me.
Watts was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, unlawful termination of a pregnancy, and 3 counts of tampering with a deceased body. Watts ended up pleading guilty to 9 charges and was sentenced to 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole in exchange for the death penalty being taken off the table. But the confessions don't end there, because after he was sent to prison, Watts finally revealed to authorities what really happened that night, or at least this could be the real story. He says after the argument about divorce, he ended up strangling Shanann to death. When 4-year-old Bella walked into the room, he told her, "Mommy don't feel good," and wrapped Shanann's body in a sheet. He put the body in his truck and drove it and the 2 girls to the oil site, where he smothered the children and hid the bodies.
I don't really want to talk about this part, honestly. Okay. Those are my kids. This is my baby. I have to talk to them every night. I don't see how this could happen. Okay. Every time I see pictures of them, I don't know how this could have happened. Being a dad was the best part of my life. I took it all away.
I think that's the hardest part for us, Chris, is we see those videos, we see that love that you had for your girls. Like, it's obvious to us, and even to us, it's hard for us to understand how a dad who's given piggyback rides and, you know, making snacks and watching princess movies and those kinds of things, how you get to that point, you know?
I don't know. Like I said, it was just like something else was controlling me that day. I had no control over what I was like to fight back.
Yeah.
Watts was moved for security reasons from Colorado to a maximum security prison in Wisconsin, where he will spend the rest of his life behind bars. All right, let's end the conversation of interrogations in Jacksonville, Florida, where investigators were able to use an interrogation to get to the bottom of a murder of a young woman in 2017. Now, in August of that year, Savannah Gold was reported missing. The 21-year-old worked as a server at a restaurant called Bonefish Grill, and she was dating her manager, a man named Lee Rodarte Jr. Savannah's family says that they received a message from her that she was running away with a great guy and then never was heard from again. It turns out that that wasn't Savannah, but Rodarte. Her car was still in the parking lot with her purse inside, which made this also weird. And Jacksonville Sheriff's deputies brought Rodarte in for questioning, letting him sit by himself for some time, and then the questioning began.
When was the last time you saw her?
This is what I was a bit... I didn't tell you the truth when we talked at Bonefish.
Okay.
Last time I saw her was Wednesday afternoon.
Okay.
I heard that she has been basically telling a lot of people at work that we hooked up a bunch, like a couple of days before that, and that she was going to like tell about the whole situation and, you know, try to get me fired. And
why would that get you fired?
I'm a manager and she's an employee. So
okay,
I mean,
so you guys aren't supposed to fraternize?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And she just told people, I guess, that she was out with that work at the restaurant that we were having sex.
Okay.
And, you know, hooking up and stuff like that, and that I was her boyfriend and this and that. So I was a little upset. Obviously, you know, I care about my job.
Sure. How long have you been there now?
It'll be 5 years in December.
Okay, yeah, right.
So I was a little upset. So I met her in the parking lot at Bonefish.
When was this?
Wednesday afternoon.
Okay. Well, do you know what time or about?
It was about 5:30.
Okay.
When you say you met her, was she meeting you too, or?
I didn't call her. Okay. I just drove up there to see if maybe she was working. I was gonna, you know, talk to her, and
did you know she was working that night?
I did.
You did not.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay, you knew she was working that night?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I drove up there, and I was hoping to get a chance to talk to her.
Okay.
I pulled in the parking lot. She pulled in a little bit after me. I parked, and I said, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" And she said, "Yeah, what's up?" And I was like, "I heard you've been saying some things about me and you continuing to hang out, and you know that we're boyfriend and girlfriend." And she asked me, she said, "Can I come sit in the car? Because I just did some heroin and I'm a little paranoid."
Okay.
I said, "Why are you doing that? You know, you're doing really well. You shouldn't have been doing that."
Okay.
And so she came and sat in the car, and I explained to her the situation. I told her that servers at Bonefish were coming to me and telling me that you're telling people when you're out that we're still having sex and we're boyfriend and girlfriend. And I said, I would appreciate, I need you to stop, because for one, it's jeopardizing my job. We agreed to, split, stop talking mutually and just move on, and, be cordial or whatever.
Now, Rodarte admitted he punctured Savannah's car tire with a small knife, putting a hole in it, and threatened that if she didn't stop talking about their previous relationship, he would break her car's windows. But he denies having any involvement in what happened to her, and even claims that Savannah got into a green truck, but he didn't see the driver.
Lee, why didn't you mention this before, since we've been looking for this girl? I mean, don't you think that information is important?
It definitely does. And I regret, obviously, not saying anything. And I was like, I don't know what to do, I'm scared. I don't want to get in trouble for, anything or have anything, be a suspect or anything like that, which, obviously wasn't the right decision to make.
Yeah.
Because now,
yeah, because we're going to find out.
Yeah, we could have gotten 3 days ahead.
So where's Savannah right now?
I don't know.
Where would I find her?
I don't know.
That's my prime objective, is to find her.
Definitely.
I think time's running out on her. And I think that...
I should have said something to you guys when I talked.
Oh, yeah,
I should have said something Wednesday or Thursday when it was brought into everybody's attention.
So tell me how I go from nice guy, never met you. You seem like a nice guy. I come up and talk to you. Again, out of you agreed that there was nothing threatening or anything about our conversation. Just asking you for some basic, simple things. We talked for just a few minutes, and you didn't tell me this story. I'm not going to say the truth because I think there's holes in this story too.
Now here's the thing. After going back and forth with Rodarte, detectives reveal some of the information they know, like how surveillance cameras in that parking lot showed a struggle between Rodarte and Savannah.
She never got out of your back seat, Lee. She never got out of your back seat. Video cameras don't lie.
Lee.
How do you know? How do you think I know this information, Lee? I wasn't there, but a video camera caught it. She never gets out of that car, and you drive off. She never gets out of that car. There is no green truck, and that's not right to her. We're fact finders, Lee. I don't have anything personal against you.
No, not at all. I mean, it's
we're
over.
just fact finders. We're just
happened.
doing
Where
our
is she?
job.
And then finally, Rodarte starts to crack.
She was hitting me. She wouldn't stop, and I squeezed back.
Okay.
And she was just...
Was she under your arm or something, or?
She started hitting me. After I, slashed her tire.
Right.
And we went back and forth, and I squeezed her hard.
You squeezed her around her neck or around her neck with your hands?
She had her hands around mine.
Okay.
And you had yours around hers, and y'all were just fighting back with each other.
Okay.
She just wouldn't let go, and I didn't let go.
Now, it's hard to hear there, but Rodarte seems to say, I didn't let her go. He admits he heard a pop as his hands were around her neck.
Where is she now?
Please tell us where she
You got the hardest part out. I understand
yeah.
that. And you got the hardest part out.
Okay.
I left. All I want to do is
We know.
I know. You're doing good, buddy.
this pond on the west side. Off of Club Duclay
Club Duclay?
Yeah.
Okay.
and Longchamp.
Yeah. Okay. If I got a map printed out of that, you think you could just show me that? Okay.
Rodarte admitted he tried to burn Savannah's body in a fire pit at his home the night that he killed her, but then decided to dig a hole and bury her. Eventually, he dug her up and put her in the trunk of his car, driving her out to a pond in a residential area where Rodarte says that he had fished in the past. Says he dumped her body in the water just a few hours later, found himself in this interrogation room. Now, Rodarte's attorneys originally filed a stand your ground petition claiming that Rodarte acted in self-defense because Savannah was attacking him. The trial judge denied that petition, but the defense took that claim to an appeals court. And after the appeals court also denied the stand your ground defense, Lee Rodarte Jr. agreed to plead guilty to second-degree murder. Other charges of tampering with evidence and abuse of a dead body were dropped, and the judge sentenced Rodarte to 40 years in prison. That's all we have for you here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, as always. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. Speak to you next time.